and I want to finish Entrepreneur Summit 25 with probably one of my favourite pieces to teach. And we're going to teach and do a section on this one here being what, everyone? On what? Wealth. Righto. Round your tables, writing whilst we're speaking, your definition of wealth. If you had to give a definition, right, what is that? And I just want to home you in. Yes, I know that health is a huge part of longevity, which is obviously related to wealth. But I just want you to kind of home in on the monetary side, just for the exercise, please. So what is wealth? Everyone just raise your hand in the air, raise your hand in the air, in the air, in the air, and you're going to point to a team captain on 3. 1, 2, 3. Righto. That person, thank you for volunteering, is the scribe. So you got 3 minutes to come up with what's your table's definition of wealth, with some more focus on the financial stuff, not so much the health side of the house. So let's go. Okay, if your team captain hasn't been up to a microphone, I'd like that person up. Just one person per microphone, please. If you've not been up today, team captains, up you pop. Righto, we'll go in the middle here. You are first. Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from?
Ben Wendell from Bolt Blue from Perth. We do websites. For us, our definition of wealth, there was a few different things, but when we really boiled it down to it, was basically making your money work for you, making your money leveraged.
So making your money work for you. Now, I've got more than one up per microphone, guys. Sorry, I'd love to get to you all, but I'll do you, Andrew, because you're a good fella. Right, so making your money work for you, all right? Is that the answer?
Yeah, we've got about 6 other things here.
Righto, give me your best of the other 6.
Pretty much making money while you sleep, how long you can survive without having to work.
Okay.
Gives you choices and comfort.
Okay, good, awesome. Give him a hand, thank you. We'll go down there.
So our team, we pretty much had like the freedom to choose. So having that abundance and that wealth, the support around you, having everything in place so you can have that frequency to...
I can
have the frequency to help others, create a charity, share your wealth of knowledge, have the capacity to support your friends and family, expand, and just feel comfortable without a worry. And not that negative thing. You just have that energy to share and grow and expand and help others.
That's a big old definition.
Sorry.
I like it. And look, you started off with freedom. There was choices in there. Please write that down if you didn't have that one. I like it. Thank you. Give her a hand. Well done. We'll go right down the end there. Yes, ma'am.
I am Mackenzie. I am from Envision Family Support Service, and we're based in Billawheeler, Queensland. Our table discussed a few different meanings of wealth, and we came up with multiple passive streams of income, abundance of valuable material in your net worth as well.
Okay, like the multiple streams of passive income comment. If you haven't got that in your notes, you should. Good stuff. Give her a hand. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Alan, Cafe Central Bundy. Generalise, same thing. Passive income. Having choices, whether you want to go to work or not, and then getting your time back was pretty important. And
Get whose time back, Al?
Getting my time back.
Thank you.
And repeating that is freedom, going to work because you want to help out.
Freedom's coming up a lot in lots of these. So.
And then generational, be able to pass on the legacy and your knowledge.
I love that. Right, we've got a flip chart on this. I won't present it because I'll be here for a while. But it's generational change. Does your generation, is there a spike in wealth that has a change, not even to the next generation, i.e. kids, that could be it, but it could be the next generation of a charity or whatever that is. So, love that, Al. Thank you. Give him a hand. Lucky last. Yes, sir.
Andrew Young, Federal Hotel Childers, Amaris Hotel in Stanthorpe. Our tables come up with financial freedom, passive income growth, accumulation of assets, and then building a legacy for generational wealth, philanthropy, charitable, choices and options, and abundance.
Okay, awesome, mate. Give him a hand. Thank you. So I agree with all of those definitions, and that's all the positive side of the house of for me, what wealth is. I'd like us to now go to if we don't do enough. So we've all got a certain lifetime that we're on this planet, right? And if we don't do a good enough job on wealth creation, I'd like to go through some of the outcomes that we set ourselves up for. So the next workshop around your table is what are the 1, 2, 3 or more outcomes if we don't do enough wealth creation or the right wealth creation or no wealth creation, what are we setting ourselves up for? What's the end game outcomes look like? So around your table, start with the person on your table who wants to be the wealthiest. Right, we're just going to popcorn this. What are some of the outcomes of bad wealth decisions or creation? What do you got? Well, homeless, that's probably the worst of the lot, I would say. Yep. Beg your pardon? Yeah, no control over my fate. Yep, love that. Couple more. Yeah, living off the kids. Burnout, 100%. I think someone had Fezzi. No legacy. Yeah, I agree on that. No choices on medical. Who's ever heard of the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Please raise your hand. I'm going to give you a suggestion of a great book that also you should think about getting for, I think it's audio as well. Georgie and I have read this book numerous times. It's the same author, but it's also his sister. So it's Robert Kiyosaki, and it's called Rich Brother, Poor Sister. No. Rich Sister. Sorry, my bad. Rich Brother, Rich Sister. And it's Robert Kiyosaki and his sister. So Robert Kiyosaki wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the highest selling business book ever written. His venture, or his career, and still is, he's still going, is that, serial entrepreneur, teacher. He was the instructor at Money in You, a program for many years, made a ton of money, wrote a book with Trump, etc. His whole journey. And his sister, funnily enough, went off to become a Buddhist monk. And it talks about their careers and what they both did, and interestingly, the downside on both of them, right? And they're both brothers and sisters talking about it. He had many downsides where, he ended up in ventures that weren't, ethically good. He talks about, who remembers, this will state my age, who remembers the old Velcro wallets? Raise your hand, all my... Keep your hand up if you are a proud owner of a Velcro wallet. Who's still got a Velcro wallet? Okay. All the youngies right now are going, what is that guy talking about? So Robert Kiyosaki owned a Velcro wallet business at one stage, and he reckons he'd never visited the factory where they were made. He went up, I think it was in China, and essentially it was slave labour when he got there. He reckons he sold the business, got rid of it. And that was one of his learnings in the book around getting onto businesses that didn't add value to the full supply chain. His sister, please take a note of this, ended up getting cancer and didn't have enough money for the treatment. Right? So on that point that someone said just recently, there's limited... on the medical side. Couple more, what else? Say it a bit louder, Dave. Yeah, you got to eat your own assets, all right? So there's a few big ones here that I will get you to write down. And I think the first one has been said multiple times, and that is we got to live off the what? Off the what? Pension / work too long. And what I find with the second one is that it ends up being an excuse. They didn't really want to work as far as they did, but they'll say, hey, I just love what I do. And underneath that, that's not the full truth. So there's your first one. Here's your second one. And it was said down the front here, and that is we've got to eat our own what, everyone? Right, so we, finally pay the house off, and then at the end of it, well, then we've got to go and downsize. Yes, it might be easier to maintain as I get older, but I didn't really have any choice because I needed the money. All right, so I've got to eat my own assets. Or the last one, which is live off the kids. They did a better job than me, therefore I had to go and live off them. Who thinks they're not the best outcomes? Raise your hand. Okay, good. So, and especially, and I want you to write this down, is especially if you've had the training. Right? Some people, right, they can't do it because no one ever sat them down and said, hey, this is how you should do it. Let me ask you a question. With the schooling system that you went through, raise your hand if you had no help whatsoever around how anything on the wealth side actually works in the world, right? Who had more geometry and algebra and all that type of stuff, right? Didn't help me one little bit. Hence the reason why we kicked off many years ago business school for kids, because it's like, hang on, they got to know this stuff in their teens, right? Who could have done knowing more about wealth in your teens, right? And what to do with it in your early adulthood. So, huge. So in terms of going back to that definition, I want to come back to that. I kind of skipped over that purposefully. And I'd like to talk about this particular question here that I'd like you to pen, which is how much passive income plus the net worth do I need by a certain date? So this is passive income coming off assets that I don't work in, just to be very clear on the definition. So, super, shares, investment properties, bonds, term deposits, whatever that is. Or businesses that I have a share in but I don't work in. I might go to a board meeting once or twice a year, but but you can't be working in it. Right? You can't be doing 1 day a week in it and saying it's passive. Right? Because you still got an active level to that. So what's the goal on passive by a certain date? And what does the net worth needs to be? I didn't have enough room. I'd like you to write it because you will on your pads. Excluding your personal place of residence. Robert Kiyosaki says you can't include that in the math. So if your net worth equity in your house is 500 or 1,000 or 500,000 or $1 million, you can't say, well, that's because I still need somewhere to live. Right? Probably the only exception with that is if you say, hey, am okay to rent for the rest of my life, and that's part of the equation on passive once you've taken that cost out. So it's kind of what does these need to be by a certain point in time. And I know a lot of clients in here have done work on this because we've been at this for years, right? Some of you in the room will be more new to this particular question. So if you can't kind of answer or, hey, I've got to go work on it, that's fine, right? But I'm interested on the work to share this around the tables. There's lots of smart people on your tables of the work that people have done to define this, okay? So we're going to go around the table and, you might need to, for the people that have got a wealth plan of some description, need to bring that up, have a look at that. So just go through these two numbers here, and like I said, if you've not done enough work on it, that's okay. You might just have to say, I'll take a pass, but I've got a pen out and I'm writing lots of stuff down of other people. So around you go, start with the person on your table with the least amount of hair. I'll be just interested we'll just do a popcorn on some answers here. Just call out a couple of numbers on passive net worth that you're aiming for by a certain date. Let's hear a couple of people kick me off. 537 of passive. So I'll round up to 550. And what net worth, is there a net worth figure in there too?
We haven't worked it out on the figures, it'll be about 40 million.
About 40 million, righto, good. Have you got a certain date? 5 years' time, good, all right. Give him a hand, thanks for sharing. Couple more, please. You should be eager to share this, especially in a safe room like this. Give me a couple of other figures. Yes, ma'am. 150 on the passive.
Yep. Net worth 3
3
mil.
mil on there, and by 2031. Okay, good. Give her a hand. Thank you. A couple more here. Fez, you seem to be doing a lot of talking on that table. What was your numbers, please, sir? 3 million on the passive. In 15 from now, and you got a net worth figure as well? 40, righto, good. Well done, give him a hand, thank you. So it's interesting, the good thing is, for me, it doesn't matter, please write this down, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, given that, they're not too small or, outrageously big that you can't go get, please write this point down. You just need the goals. We talked about this morning, with the strategic map, is you got to actually have that written. You got to do some calcs. So, and it doesn't matter also, we've probably heard from a lot of the business owners in that last little bit, do team members need the same, yes or no? Yeah, 100%, right? We actually do at EBS, different times we've done wealth training, right, for our team members. Why? Because they need some help in this area. A lot of them, please write this down, and I find this for business owners, still can't tell me actually how much they've got in super. They can't tell me the yields that they're getting in super either, right? Do they have dreams and goals? And the answer is yes, all right? So if you've got the ability to do that, it might be worth spending an hour next planning days that you do with your team to give them a helping hand. Who likes that bit? Say yeah. Righto. I want to finish this wealth piece, please, and I've spoke about it in here many times before, is someone's buying drinks. Who is that? JCO. I like it. I'll do you a deal. You don't have to buy everyone drinks. You just got to... No, okay, it's not you. Righto. I was going to say, just bring him to the coaching session next week. What's this one, everyone? Nice and loud. Wealth plan. If it's not written down, it's not on this planet. And I'm a big fan, not to say I don't enjoy financial advisors. We use them. We've got clients of them. One thing I don't like about people who abdicate the function of wealth to a financial planner. Please write that down. Can be very, very helpful to guide you, etc., but I don't like when this piece is 100% abdicated, right? I still want to have some critical thinking. Write those two words down, please. I want to still be able to critical think my own pathway. So even if I'm doing it with a coach or a financial advisor or whoever you're doing it with, I still think there's a lot of power in then going and finding my super statement and seeing what the yield is, going and finding what my equity is and putting in an assets and liabilities, right? Or your accountant, right? They can be also hugely helpful in this area as well, right? So we need to take responsibility for our own wealth. Raise your hand if you agree with that. Okay, good. So when you look at 2026 with that planning theme that we spoke about, how well is your wealth plan sitting right now? And what do you need to do to get that further down the road for 2026? So I'm just going to plug in up here, Ock, and then we will be throwing up something here in a minute, mate, once I get my stuff in order. So the stock standard one that some have seen in the room is the wealth plan here. This is obviously the example. Who's used this document, by the way? Raise your hand. Okay, keep your hand up if it's been useful. Righto, good. And look, this changes. This current position does change, right? And depending on how aggressive you are or how the different areas in your life are changing here, you don't have to do it every month, would be overkill, but a lot of my clients, I know they've got a lot of things on, so they're doing it every quarter or at least every 6 months, right? I think understanding what your current portfolio is doing, and then I think there's a lot of power in these next section. Please write these down. You've got a section here, is what's happening 1 year out, right, which in this case is 2026. You've then got that kind of more 3 to 5 year view, and then what are we doing sort of 6 to 10 years, all right? So I do think even if, and what stops people, thanks Ock, what stops people doing this section, right, is they don't know what to put in there, right? Is they can load up the assets and liabilities, but they'll say to me, Bruiser, I don't know, should I do a residential property play or should I do a commercial property play, right? So they'll go, well, I'll just put 0 or nothing into the 3 to 5 years. And my encouragement, and I've seen these wealth plans a lot in the last 12 months, is I'm going to say write something, and that's a really good conversation to have with your coach, right? So you can start to debate on the different strategies of how to get there. Okay, I do want to just bring up a new tool that you'll be seeing in the portal before Christmas, and this is this one here. This is called the Advanced Wealth Plan, where we've taken out different, as an example, property play here, number 1, and putting it in assuming certain capital growth each year, what's the net income all the way to a certain goal, doing this through your whole portfolio. So there's a fair bit in there with some assumptions up the top here. And, if you really want to push the boat out on your different investments. Thanks, Ock. Who likes that one? That's hot off the press, right? And if I'm transparent, I had that built for me and Georgie, right? So I'm going to be putting that into the portal, and I think if you really want to have, a great conversation with your coach, that's a really good one to have in there. Alrighty, good. Who needs to do a bit more in the wealth side of the house in 2026? Be honest, righto, good. Remember, time's ticking. Write this down. No one in here is getting any younger, right? And for my people that got a bit of age on them, you got to really get going on this. And for the more of the people with youth, I wished I'd been in a room in my 20s learning this information, someone giving me a boot along back then. Raise your hand if you could have done more of this in your 20s and maybe early 30s. Righto, good. So on that piece of wealth around your tables, writing whilst we're speaking, number one learning for you at a wealth section today, please start with the person on your table who's had the best day. Let's go. Team, I'm just going to popcorn the answers on this. I'd like to hear top learning from this side of the room on that wealth section. Someone hit me. Has to be written down. Couple more. Let's go, team. Surely there must have been one learning in 150 people. I can't hear you. Yeah, wealth training for team members. Love that. What about the middle section here? Yeah, doing it earlier. Multiple streams. One more. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the quantum is as long as it's planned. Yep, Al? Yeah, go start with the end in mind. Last one over here. Massive action. Love that. Okay. Very good, team. Give me a little whoosh. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh.